Hello, welcome to Fishy Wild. When talking about koi fish, it seems like there is no end. We talked a lot about color patterns, maybe we need to look at a slightly more specific discussion. This time I want to show my journey in understanding koi fish skin. Why skin? Because we often hear about the need for healthy skin on koi fish. Thick skin, clean, or without wounds. There's been a lot of discussion around skin, and now I'm curious about a specific topic, something fukin brought up. Fukin. This term often appears when discussing the appearance of koi fish skin. That's right, skin, not scales. The topic of fukin often arises, especially in ogon-type koi variants, or other metallic koi. Also often appears on single-colored koi other than ogon, such as karashi. Fukin. What is fukin? I'm really curious. Many sources say that fukin is a term commonly used in the world of koi keeping. It refers to a distinct feature found on the skin of some koi varieties. So from this general information, we know that fukin is a feature of koi fish skin, not scales. The question now is, what is the literal meaning of fukin? If we find out, the word fukin itself is derived from the Japanese word fuku, meaning envelop or cover, and ain, meaning scale, so its meaning literally refers to the skin condition that envelops the scale. However, what is the meaning of skin condition that envelops the scale above? Commonly said, fukin is the way the flesh between the koi scales forms a net pattern. When koi are small, the space between each scale is too narrow to form this pattern. As the koi grows, the space between the scales becomes wider, and creates the fukin. That's right, when koi are still small, it will be difficult for us to see the skin and scales that seem to form a net-like pattern. Only in large adult koi can we see it clearly, but apparently, that definition is not enough to describe the true fukin. That only says about general skin development of all kois. More accurately, fukin true meaning is a description of special skin condition. This is different than ginran as it is a condition of the scale. The definition is, fukin is the guanine content of the skin, where the skin is surrounding the scale. So once again, the content of guanine, or a kind of shiny substance when seen with the eye, is about its presence in the koi skin, not in the scales. Since guanine is found, naturally, in mutated skin, the concentration of that material, within the dermis and epidermis, tends to be a line-bred thing. Special conditions of course don't happen to all koi. If they happen to all koi, of course they're not special, and they don't make you curious. Only lineages that have fukin genetics allow the presence of fukin in the body of koi fish. I think the problem with the fukin skin feature, the same as the hump feature on koi fish, is a matter of genetics. There are at least two types or looks to guanine, and in addition there are reflective, color cells, that appear to the human eye, to be silvery, and this is also often described as fukin, but it is not really. Guanine can be found organized in cells, or it can be found as loose crystals, within the epidermis and dermis. These two different looks are both called fukin. Many koi dealers promote fukurin as a feature that makes fish double the price of koi fish without fukurin, and many koi hobbyists believe in that. However, is that the truth? As regards the question about whether it is only found in high-class fish, the answer is no. But the really excellent fukurin is a high luster, or a sparkling of glass powder, within the better, or best skin, and that best skin is also special, in that it is billowy and transparent, that reflects light back to the eye. So high-class fukurin is really a description of both the guanine content, or intensity, and the right shiroji, or the transparent, soft glowing porcelain-colored dermis. This together really intensifies the look, and becomes yet another accomplishment in a high-class animal. It should be understood that this is icing on the cake, and great koi do not have to have it to be excellent, but if they are competing with an equally good, and the competition has it in addition to the basics, the win favors the fukurin blessed fish. If you are curious about fukurin, try paying attention to your koi fish. Fukurin will encapsulate and frame the individual scales, both at the cuticle and the edges. If you run your hand down the scales of this fish, from head to tail, and then, from tail to head, the scale edges will drag against your skin, on the return trip, as the feather edges up against it. You wouldn't experience that with fukurin. Let me stress it, again, because it seems that some are seeing the skin between the scales as fukurin. All koi at an adult age have skin showing between and around the scales, so that alone is not the definition of fukurin. You will see many, for instance, even at koi shows, point to billowy high-class skin with no guanine content, and say, hey, it's a fukurin. That is incorrect. What they are seeing is a good grade shiroji, which is a good skin quality, but not fukurin. Taking this further, very average varieties can show fukurin. Asagi is a classic example. The dermis can be quite the wild type, but still the fish can have extensive skin exposure around and covering 40% of the scale. But it is the shine within that skin that is the fukurin. In classy Gasanki, you will see both luster and sparkling crushed glass powder all over the billowy skin. When a run of ginran is also present on the scales, the pointing breeder is at risk of misteaching all those who are observing the pointed finger. Ironically, in certain lines of Gasanki, the fukurin is very intense, in the same area as the run of ginran scales. And finally, think for a moment about what guanine might look like in an organized cell structure versus loose crystals embedded in the epidermis and dermis. All different looks. Fukurin is a condition or state of skin, not just skin itself. And the condition is shine provided by a high concentration of reflective material or reflective cells within that skin. A skin feature inherited from a particular koi lineage. Then, how can we get koi with fukurin? Of course, buying large koi will be easier, because they are visible, and we can choose, although of course, the price will definitely be high. The problem is if we expect koi with fukurin, but buy small-sized koi. As previously discussed, lineage is a determining factor. So, even though it is still small, if the genetics are the offspring of a koi parent that has fukurin, you can still hope. However, if you have a very limited budget, you will need to be careful in selecting small koi that are talented in having fukurin when they grow up. How? We will discuss it on another occasion.